In this video, I'm going to show you 5 common mistakes that trail riders make that cause them to have jerky throttle syndrome, where the throttle feels really jerky and snappy, and it makes it really intimidating to ride in the woods or on the trails. And then at the end, I'll show you what you need to do in order to have control over your throttle, even if you're riding a bike that's too much power for you. So the first mistake is just practicing smooth throttle control. And even though throttle control is super important for riding on the trails so that you get proper traction and accelerate efficiently, but if that's the only thing that you're doing, then you're still able to easily get out of control. For example, if you're riding over some bumps or whooped out terrain or going up a steep hill and you get thrown around and thrown backwards on the bike, what is your wrist going to do? Well, when you go backwards, you have to reach farther and it twists the throttle. And even if you're trying to be smooth, your wrist is going to twist it and the bike is going to accelerate more than you want it to. Mistake number 2 is squeezing with your hands, your arms, your shoulders, whatever it might be with your upper body to help control the bike when it starts getting jerky. Maybe you're in first gear and the throttle feels really jerky, so you're squeezing on really tight, you're death gripping the bars, trying to squeeze with your arms and shoulders to try and hang on to the bike. But when you do that, that makes it extremely hard to be smooth with the throttle, and this is a sign that you're just reacting to what the bike does. And when you're just reacting, then the bike is controlling you and you're not in control of the bike. That's why when you go over those bumps, the throttle gets more jerky because your wrist is twisting and being bounced around, so it's just getting worse when you try and squeeze really hard to control the bike. And the third mistake is keeping a finger on the brake. Now, this is a good riding habit, but if you're doing it just to control jerky throttle syndrome so you don't whiskey throttle, this isn't going to fix it. It can help, but when you happen to go over a bump or a whoop or go up a hill and you get quickly thrown back on the bike, you're going to lose that grip over the front brake lever and you're not going to be able to squeeze it in time because you're using all your energy to hang onto the bars and pull yourself back up. Pesting. Fourth mistake is squeezing with your legs and knees to try and control the throttle when you're accelerating. But if you have to squeeze every time you accelerate or go over bumpy terrain, that's a good sign that you're not using proper body position. And if you watch the pros ride, are they always squeezing with their legs and knees whenever they accelerate? No, they're changing their body position constantly, and if they were squeezing with their knees all the time just to control the throttle, it would be really hard to move back and forth. Mistake number 5 is installing a throttle tamer. This is especially common if you buy like a KTM 300 or a 450 dirt bike and you're trying to ride in the woods. You wanted all that power, but realized, wow, it is very jerky and snappy and aggressive and hard to tame when riding at low speeds, especially in first gear. Maybe riding a motocross bike, which can be ridden in the trails, but it's not the greatest for this very reason. So the throttle tamer, it smooths out that initial eighth to a quarter turn of the throttle, making it easier to be a little bit smoother. And yes, that can help, but you're still going to run into that problem when you're going over rough terrain or you just start to get tight and it's hard to have smooth throttle control. You start to get bounced around. Your throttle is smoother initially, but it goes back to normal after a quarter turn. So if you get pushed back and your wrist starts to turn the throttle, what's the bike going to do? It's going to want to wheelie out from under you. And if you made any one of these 5 mistakes, which can help have more throttle control, it just means that you're a nervous trail rider. And don't worry, it's super common. It's because you haven't mastered the basic techniques, which I cover in my free guide. You can get that in the link is in the description below. And this can happen even on a low-powered trail bike like this with only 20 horsepower. So what is the best way to have better throttle control when trail riding? The key is to anticipate what the bike is going to do. So this is shifting your body position at the proper time in the proper position so that you don't have to death grip the bars or squeeze with your legs and knees or your hands just to stay in control of the bike. This is just one of the many ways that I teach casual trail riders how to have confidence riding single track trails in my virtual dirt biker school. And if you want to learn how to ride with confidence without without taking years to learn these basic techniques, you should check out this video here. I'm Kelly Fager from MX Hideout. Ride safe, have fun.